interwebs? It's your realtor Jeremy. It is Tuesday. It's time for the Tuesday market update, and we're starting to launch these things on Tuesday afternoons at 4 o'clock. That's the goal on YouTube and Facebook, and we're going to do what they call watch parties on Facebook, and on YouTube it's going to be YouTube Premiere, and that way I can sit in the comments while the show is running and answer any questions you guys have. So Tuesdays at 4 o'clock, that's the goal, to launch these live each week. So let's get into the numbers this week. We're looking at Queen Creek and San Valley, which are our two favorite cities when it comes to appreciation in the Phoenix Valley. We're also going to add some new numbers this week, so some of the graphs are going to look a little different. First, let's look at the summary numbers. Average sale price, $380, $316, up from $345, $149, a percentage change of 10.19. If you keep going across, we're going to look at year-to-date numbers. Hopefully those will remove some of the volatility of some of the month-to-month stuff. So year-to-date, average sale price $372,009, up from $328,530, which is actually a 13% change. Days on market, we're looking at 60, up a little bit from 54, and year to date we're at 61, up from 56. Houses sold, as you can see in the Queen Creek area, it's a pretty tight race in that middle sector where we're at 300 to 400. But not far behind is 250 to 300 and 400 to 500. So year to date, the bulk of them are still being sold in that $300,000 to $400,000 range, and you can see we've sold nearly 80 more houses this last month of August than we did the previous year. So here's our our active, sold, and new listings up here in the corner here. And as you can see, Queen Creek's doing a pretty good job of rebounding with quite a few new listings last month, up above how many were bought, so we're moving in that right direction. Next we have our listing prices. You can see there's some volatility in the Queen Creek pricing, and I think that's partially because of the area. The variance from pretty inexpensive stuff that's south of Schnett Farms to stuff that's right on the edge of Queen Creek and Gilbert, that kind of thing. But generally, as you can see, pretty strong upward trend. Next, we got the absorption rate. Again, this is how many months of inventory we have if nothing new came on the market. As you can see, we had that big old drop off there in the earlier part of the year, and then it's starting to recover. I think we'll see if it's just a 1 month blip. And then I love this graph of the days on market. We've got that big old spike in February, which is hilarious. But again, anomaly. We're going to look at the rest of it and say that generally we're trending a few days more on market than last year this time. Slightly different from Gilbert and Chandler, who are seeing a little bit lower actually days on market. Next, San Valley. We've got an average sale price of $260,908, up from $249,891, about a 4.4% change. But again, if we look at the year-to-date numbers, $254,40, up from $235,500. We're at 8.1% appreciation. So it looks like Queen Creek's kind of winning out there, and I think part of that is because San Valley started to do a lot of work with the infrastructure out there. There's been a lot of road work, a lot of things like that I think are probably hindering people's desire necessarily to move out there. So I think once they get that infrastructure stuff dealt with, I think we'll see San Valley kind of catch back up to Queen Creek. The other thing is Queen Creek is both close and far out, depending on what part of Queen Creek you're in. Anyway, spread of prices. Obviously, the bulk of them are in the 200 to 249 range, 134. So that's nearly as many as, that's almost half. So might be more than half. My math is failing me today. But year to date, the bulk of them are in that 200 to 250 range. And if you know anything about like Chandler or Gilbert, anything in that 250 range goes super fast. Santan Valley, you're getting a little more house for the money, and they're not moving quite as quickly. This graph makes me laugh. Look at the red line. There's the active listings. I think they've been dropping off a bit over the last, since February, basically. No, Santan Valley's seen a little bit less volatility in that drop off of new listings. But again, because of the increase of some buyers, you see the graph. Pricing, generally trending up. That same slope of absorption rate out there, we're at a month and a half of inventory, a little under. And then days on market, the days on market graph here looks very similar to what Chandler and Gilbert have looked like. Definitely a slowdown in that February-March timeframe, but speeding back up over the last few months. Anyway, that is it for this week's Tuesday Market Update. If you haven't already heard, myself and the Jason Whitty team moved over to eXp Realty. If you want any info as to why we did that, just leave me a comment, send me an email, shoot me a text. I'd love to tell you about why we chose to move that direction. When it comes to giving you a better quality experience, nothing's changed. It's still me giving you a great experience. Just the back end of how I do business has changed a little bit with changing brokerages. But I still will give you a better quality experience than anybody else out there. So give me a call and let me show you how I will deliver on that promise. You guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you back next Tuesday at 4 o'clock Arizona time on Facebook or on YouTube, and we can comment back and forth, make fun of me when I say silly things. But anyway, I'll see you guys next week on the Tuesday Market Update. Bye.